I am the fourth great-grandson of William Neal and Mary Ann Harmon. I was born on Carpenters Fork of Otter Creek in Powersburg, Wayne County, Kentucky. As we travel back in time long ago, the Native American Indians were the original people that lived in this country. They were taken from their land and put on the Trail of Tears. One of this tribe of Indians was the Cherokees, and the Cherokee blood ran deep into the Neals veins in a county called Wayne in southern Kentucky. It's where my Neals came from. A lot of them lived on Carpenters Fork of Otter Creek, and then others lived in Gap Creek community. One of those Neals was my grandfather, James William Neal. He was born in 1883 and he died in 1957. This is his birth record, and this is when he died. James William Neal's first marriage was to Lucinda Massengale. She was born 6/29/1884, and she died on 5/9/1956 in Wayne County, Kentucky. She was the daughter of George Washington Massengale, 1853, and Elizabeth Barber, 1852. This is James and Lucinda's marriage record. And this is Lucinda's stone in Gap Creek. James William Neal of Wayne County, Kentucky. His second marriage was to Loretta Watkins, and she was the daughter of George William Watkins, 1863, and Elizabeth Ann Foster, 1866. This is James William Neal and Loretta Watkins' marriage record. This is Loretta's death record from the newspaper. James William Neal and Loretta Watkins had 10 children. The first was my mom, Maud. She was born in 1912. Della, 1915. Charlie, 1917. Dorothy, 1919. Robert, 1922. Effie, 1924. Delmar Otto, 1926. Kurt, 1929. Benjamin Neal, 1933. James and Loretta is buried at Gap Creek Cemetery in Wayne County, Kentucky. James William Neal was the second child of Benjamin Porter Neal, and he was born 3/7/1861, and he died 12/27/1905. And Mary Evelyn Davis Bibley, she was born 2/26/1866, and she died February 26, 1912. Ben and Mary had 8 children. The first to be was Dosha. She was born 1881. James, born 1883. Isabel, born 1887. Michael, born 1890. Oscar, born 1892. Freddie, born 1894. Porter, born 1895, and Bertha, she was born 1896. And this has been Murray's marriage record. Benjamin Porter Neal had an old shotgun that his father gave him, and right after Christmas on December 27, 1905, Michael Ben's son, took the old shotgun to town and traded it for a pistol. And when he came home, Ben had seen what Micah did, and then got into a skirmish, and Ben got mad and walked out the door, and Michael shot him in the back and killed him. Michael went to Franklin State Prison in 1906, and then in 1909 he died in prison. He was killed. Where the old prison used to be, the Lexington State House is there now, and is sitting on the old prison grounds. But the three of the walls of the old prison is still there. Benjamin P. Neals is buried at Gap Creek Cemetery in Gap Creek, Wayne County, Kentucky. After Ben's death, married Louis Duval. One of Ben and Mary's kids was Bertha Neal, and she married Willie Covey. This is Bertha and Willie Covey's marriage records. The oldest child of Ben and Mary was Dosha, and she married preacher Terrell Atkinson, and they had Della. This is Della and Terrell's marriage bond. Another child of Ben and Mary's was Isabel, born in 1887, and she married the famous gunmaker Wyatt Atkinson. This is Wyatt and Isabel's marriage bond. Wyatt and Isabel lived deep in the woods of Wayne County, Kentucky. Another one of Ben Murray's kids was Osco, and he was born in 1892. Osco's wife was Rosa Isabel Carter, and she was born in 1891. She was the daughter of John Carter, born in 1869, and Martha Massengill, born in 1863. This is Osco and Isabel's marriage bond. Osco and Isabel is buried in Henry County, Indiana, in Newcastle at the South Mound Cemetery, and this is their stone. Benjamin Porter Neal's father was Moses William Neal and Emmeline Victory. Moses was the son of William Neal and Marianne Harmon. Moses was first married to Rachel Martin, and then he married Emmeline Victory. This is 1860 census of Moses Neal and Emmeline. Moses had Martha, born 1845, William H. Neal, born 1846, Nancy Neal, born 1858, Rosa Neal, born 1851, James Neal, born 1853, John Neal, born 1855, Nancy Neal, born 1858, Benjamin Neal, born 1861, and Mary Neal, born 1864. Moses died in January of 1877 in Wayne County, Kentucky, and his wife Emmeline died in December of 1877 cause of death of both of them is unknown at this time. This is James Anderson Neals, son of Moses and Imran, and James married Marianne Buck. And this is Timothy Neal standing behind James. Nancy Neal married Harrison Massengill. And that's Nancy and her family, the Massengills. A brother of Moses was Solomon Neal, and he married Sarah Victory. And his other brother was Obadiah Neal, and he married Elizabeth Brown. Another brother was Thomas, and he married Elizabeth Smith. Another brother was Sterling Neal, and he married Keziah Raines. Two other sisters was Jane Neal, and she married John Victory. And the other sister was Margaret Neal, or Peggy, and she married Thomas Davis. The father and mother of Marianne Harmon was Charles Harmon, born 1761 in Virginia, and he died in 1847 in Overton County, Tennessee. And Marianne's mother was Nancy Elizabeth Neal, and she was born in 1768. And this is a record on Charles Harmon, and he was Cherokee Indian. Growing up in Wayne County, Kentucky, on Carpenters Fork of Otter Creek was one of the greatest memories that I could ever have. This was my story on the Neals. I was born March 3rd, 1947 on Carpenters Fork of Otter Creek in Powersburg, Wayne County, Kentucky, to Dalton Luther Guthrie and Maud Ellen Neal. This is my story, and I hope you enjoyed it.